Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hour of Healing. Friends, I am your weekly host, Joe Deborah. And our topic for discussion today is your victory is in your secret place. Our guest is our dear sister, Candace Fobih. I've told you already, she is a woman of God who loves the Lord with all her heart. And she is impacting our generation in various platforms such as Facebook and other social media platforms. Friends, it will be a blessing for us to be able to have a discussion with our sister Candace today. So, your victory is in your secret place. Friends, what do we mean by secret place? And why are we talking about us having victory in such a place? You know, in this world, times of danger and trouble are bound to come. No matter what you do, no matter what you don't do, friends, you are bound to go through danger, you are bound to go through trouble. As a matter of fact, one musician, whom I believe was Bob Marley, once said that no matter how hard you try, trouble will find its way to you one way or another. But again, it could be Lucky Dube because I just love both of them. But friends, in order for you to have victory in life, you need to have a place of safety. And whenever we talk about secret place, that is where most people think. But may I submit to you today that your secret place, in order for you to have victory, needs to be more than a place of victory. It ought to be a place of peace and a place of progress for you as well. Because without peace, without progress, friends, there is no sustainable growth or there is no substantial growth. And so let's not wait too much time. Let's call our guest in so that we will be able to have a discussion today and see where we will end with this conversation. Our sister Candace, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Sister Candace, really, that's kind of what I think a secret place ought to be. But what are some of your thoughts when you hear the phrase a secret place? What are some things that come to mind?
Some things that I think about when we talk about secret place is it could be a person. As you mentioned, you said something about a place of peace. And many a times when we mention a place or when we say something is a place, it doesn't necessarily mean a location that is, on the face of this earth, but it could be an individual that brings that peace, that brings that atmosphere. So a secret place could be an environment or an individual. So
Wow.
that is what I think it to be.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think that is so profound. So if a secret place can be an individual or an environment, then what do we do in a secret place? What should we do in a secret place? And how often should we visit that place?
You said something in the beginning about trouble and chaos, following us in life. It's part of life. And the essence of having a secret place is to be able to soak in or defend ourselves. It's like a sense of defense mechanism against the troubles and the challenges that this life brings to us. So it's a place where you have to live in it. It has to be a place that is part of you. It should not be a place that is scheduled on your calendar, like I'll go there once a week or once every month, but it should be a place that becomes a part of you. So wherever you are, if that person is not with you or if you are not in that particular place, you could still have a sense of that peace still with you in your heart or in your mind, around you. So it's very crucial to merge with that place of
Wow.
peace.
Wow. So then, what should we do, or what are some of the things that is done in this secret place?
Some things that you can do could be communication, fellowship, and getting to know one another as Christians, which I am, as a Christian, you have to fellowship in a secret place. If God, Jesus Christ, is your secret place as a person, or
Mm.
His presence, you find yourself under His atmosphere. It's a secret place for you. So you have to fellowship with it. Or if it's a person, you have to fellowship with them. If it's a
Mm.
place, you have to fellowship with that place in any way that works for you.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think it's certainly true because, I mean, if your secret place, like you mentioned, is just a place that, let's say, your basement in your house, let's what if you travel outside the state or
Mm.
outside the country and trouble comes? Because, like I said, trouble will definitely come. And
Yes.
so I think it's very, very true that becoming one, merging with your secret place, having that sense of union with your secret place is certainly great. And you did mention to the Christian, which I believe for most people, this psalm is very popular, that he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And whenever I remind myself of this very phrase or text, what I am reminded of is that I dwell in the secret place of the Most High, which is a place that perpetually I ought to be. It's not a place where I ought to go once in a while. It's not a place that I should choose to go maybe once in a blue moon if everything is going well. But it's a place of perpetual communication or fellowship, like you mentioned. So I
Yes.
think that's actually certainly true.
Yes.
So then the question that I will ask you is, personally, what are some emotions or feelings that we associate with our secret places
Oh.
or with our secret person? What are some emotions or feelings that we associate with this place?
So before I answer that, though, I want to say something about what you said earlier
Mm-hmm.
about Christians, and that's one of the mistakes that we make with the passage that you quoted, that he that dwelleth under the secret place of the Most High God, and we misunderstand the word dwelling, and we
Mm,
associate that with a place, or
mm.
say Jesus Christ, or the man himself, or the Spirit himself. So I can only dwell under the secret place of the Most High God when I'm in church, or when I'm in
Oh,
my prayer
okay.
room. You get what I mean? So, dwelling under the secret place of the Most High God is finding a part of God or a place in God where you have related yourself or linked yourself in. He said, the Spirit in us testifies that we are His. So, His Spirit and our spirit has to get to a point or a place where we are one. And that is where the dwelling comes in. So, it's like a permanent place or permanent dwelling. It's not a place you get up to go to. It's within.
Mm,
So
mm,
I just want to
mm,
make mention of that, because we twist that. And if someone does not have a prayer room, if someone does not go to church, or if they go to church and they don't feel the presence of God, as we say, they think they're not dwelling under the secret place of the Most High.
mm.
So I just wanted to touch base on that. But with
Good.
emotions, the emotions is peace, because peace is an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Safety, it's an emotion. It's sensed with so when you sense safety, you sense security, a place of you're secure in this place. That's when you can say, I feel safe. This is safe for me to be. This is a place where I can dwell, or this is a place where I can find victory, or I can war, to get that victory. So emotions are peace and security or safety.
Wow. Yeah, and thank you for that answer. So certainly, if the emotions or feelings that are associated with the secret place include peace, safety, security, I also would even add joy, belonging, or a sense of being needed or being in fellowship. Um, a secret place ought to be a place where you feel you can strategize, or you feel you are in a position to game plan. You did mention the word war, or do battle. And so that's why I'm kind of throwing these words out there. So that is why I don't necessarily associate a secret place with just Christianity alone,
Yeah.
because every person in, I believe, in life ought to have such a place, because like I said, there is no growth without peace. You can look at it in various ways, and I believe we will be talking about it on our episode Progress Through Peace. You will realize that for you to actually grow, you need peace. For the economy to grow, the country or the nation needs peace. And so peace becomes like the fertilizer or the sustaining soil for any substantial or measurable growth. And so what I will ask you then is, how has your secret place impacted you in your sense of identity and personal growth?
Okay, so my secret place has impacted me to have a different perspective about
Hmm.
life and the challenges that comes. Many people do not, I've realized, do not have this. And so when things happen, they merge their self with the problem other than separating the issue from their self.
Mm.
Two, they cannot justify what has happened, because and sometimes you have to do that to survive in this world. You have to
Yes.
consistently justify people. When someone hurts you, someone says something, can you reason? Can you think? Can you critically think through why that person may have done it? Why that person may have said it? So my secret place brings me to a place where I can reason, and it keeps me in perspective of
Mm.
what life is all about. So some
Wow.
things are, I take it as life. It's harder for it to get to me. It's harder for it to negatively impact me because I'm in charge. I'm in control. Like the topic says, victory in your secret place. So when you are in that secret place, you have to be always be victorious. You have to be a victor in life. There's no failure. There is no failure. There is no failure. That's what I
Wow.
believe.
So, if I understand what you are saying correctly, then in a nutshell, we would say your secret place becomes the place where you learn to respond to life rather than react to life.
Correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. So then, thank you for that answer, Sister Candice. But share with our audience. Have you ever had to share your secret place, or is the secret place a place that ought to be shared with people? And I will turn it to you and say, personally, have you shared your secret place with someone else? And how was that experience like? And I'll talk about my experience as well too. But it's a secret place, a place that you ought to share? And if so, yes or no, then take it the next step.
Thank you. I'm laughing while you're asking this question because I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, 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 I'm not sharing with anyone. It's secret for a reason, and that's the mistake we make. You tell someone something and you tell them it's a secret. The moment it left your lips, it's no more a secret, even if that person keeps it. So a secret is personal. It's you and wherever or whoever that thing is. It's a place where you alone understands it to be that secret that
Mm,
it is, or that
mm,
sacred that it is. So to me, I don't think it's shareable, or you should
mhm.
share it, because if it's an atmosphere, if it's a place, inviting someone in can distort the atmosphere because they're not
Yes.
coming with the same perception. You may have grown with your secret place. You may have matured with your secret place. You may have come into a certain consensus with your secret place. So when you invite a third party, it's like when you first came in. Some things that you are on the same level on now, that person is not. And you might end up feeling like, oh, something is changing, things are oh, today something was different, blah blah blah. But you forgot that you brought in a whole different person. So I don't think it's shareable. Well, if it is, I am not willing to share. That's what I would say.
So I asked you that because I wanted to get out there because I think for our listeners who will consider themselves as spiritual, I know you alluded to this earlier, and I think it's worth echoing that we sometimes tend to say, "Oh, the church place or the meeting place where everybody fellowships. That's where I gain my strength. That's where I gain my victory." No, you win your victory. I remember a few years ago, I was chatting with some colleagues. This was during our school times, and one of the guys asked a friend of mine. He said, "I never see you steady, but you always performing well." Now, the person that they were asking the question to is somebody that I happen to be very close with during school.
Mhm.
And I know that this gentleman studies nonstop at night. And so when they asked that question, I started laughing because in my head, his secret place is where he studies. And we will be talking about where to create, how to create secret places in various aspects of life after this. But I was his close friend, and I knew that this gentleman studies a lot. As a matter of fact, I started modeling my study habits after him because I realized that when we go out, when I'm stressing about I need to go and get these assignments done or these readings done, he's not worried about them because he's already done his business. He's already taken care of that. And so the secret place is a unique place for you. For instance, when you talk about, as I talk about someone studying or my friend studying a lot at night, now when you came to our dormitory, his whole bed was filled with books. I cannot do that because if you put books in my bed, I'm not sleeping. I'm going to be tossing, and as soon as it touches me, I'm going to be up. And so I think a secret place is a place that is unique to you. It's a place that you niche out yourself. And so it doesn't have to be um, like what religious listeners will think of as a church, a synagogue, a mosque, or any place else. No, it ought to be a place that you carve out for yourself. Um, and so before we even go on, I don't want to digress too much. So, how do we create a secret place in
First,
our job,
mhm.
in our spiritual life, in our social life, in our family lives, in our parenting lives? How do we create a secret place?
First of all, you create secret place out of problems and challenges or defeat. That is the root of finding how to create your secret place. And when after you are victorious or not defeated from whatever you are going through, then you sit down to figure out what works for you or what you like, what you don't like, what you want to be associated with. So it's when you, every time you come out of challenge or obstacles, there's growth. Even if you feel like it's beating you down, whatever it is, trust me, you are not the same person when you went in. You
Mm,
have changed. So you, it's always very good to assess yourself and accept that change. And that through that change is how you can build a secret place or find a secret place. And the
mm,
next thing is creating boundaries. Once
mm.
you figure out who, what, when, why, what you like, what you don't
And
like,
how?
yes, how you use those things to create boundaries in your life. And this is something that is very difficult for many of us to do because we are concerned about offense.
Mm,
You know, we are concerned about what others will think of us. We are concerned about, and then so the cycle keeps repeating and repeating itself. From what you went through, it keeps repeating itself in a different manner, in a different way. Because what God is trying to get you out of or get you to, you are not allowing Him.
Mm.
So you have to create boundaries and be proud of it and be confident, and don't worry about what it might do. The people that are supposed to be within the boundary will find themselves in it. You have to remember that. They will always find themselves in the fence, not outside of the fence, if they are meant to be in it. So creating boundaries is where you start being in the atmosphere of a secret place.
Wow, wow, that hits home. So a secret place is created out of need. So then the follow-up question is a secret place something that is static or it changes?
It changes
Okay.
depending on how you are changing. I think I mentioned before with when you asked about a question of sharing. I
Mm-hmm.
said
Mm-hmm.
you have grown with your secret place, you have matured with your secret place, and it goes back
Correct.
to you may have changed with your secret place,
Mm.
and you're inviting something that has not gotten there yet. So it changes the whole thing. So secret places changes, and whilst you are there, nobody has to equip you in that change. You will move with it because it's yours. And that is
Mm.
why it's secret for you is yours. You will just move with it. You will change with it. You'll be molded with it. And that is the beauty about having a secret place, because whilst it's changing and you're changing, that's where the victory becomes more visible. Victory over
Wow.
life and stuff. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and I certainly think a secret place ought to change for the mere fact that the when we started, one or two of the main principles we mentioned was the fact that you need a secret place because that's where your victory comes from. That's where you maintain your sanity. That's the
Mm-hmm,
place of
mm-hmm.
calm for you.
Yes.
That's where you dissociate from the pressures of the world or the pressures of work and family and things of that nature. And it doesn't have to be a physical place. So it ought to change in the sense that the challenges you face in life don't stay static. The battles you fight in life don't
Mm-hmm.
stay the same.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in high school, the challenges you faced are very different from the challenges you will face as a parent. Even
Yes.
if you were in a relationship in high school, it's certainly very different from the
Yeah.
challenges you will face in marriage per se. So I
Mhm.
completely agree with you, Mr. Candice, that a secret place ought to be a place that changes because, again, like you said, it's a place that you create or a place that you form out of need, and needs are not the same
Yeah.
time after time after time.
Yeah.
Um, so thank you for that. We will be wrapping up soon, Sister Candice. But I want to ask you, how can one preserve or protect their secret place over time, since it changes with them? How can we be sure we are protecting our secret place?
So, whilst you're changing, the beauty about it is that it kind of sieves your surrounding, and it sieves the people around you. So protection whilst it's changing, it's not something that you have to work hard on, because once you create boundary, that alone serves as a protection, and thereon, the journey itself protects itself, or the secret place itself protects what you have built. So
Mm,
just start with the boundary, and thereon the atmosphere, the person, that what you have started, the relationship, the fellowship, whatever it is, it protects itself. It's like when you have a bond with a best friend or a spouse, as you move together, is both of you both are on the same page. You have committed to each other. You he knows your plans, she knows your plans. You know where you are both going,
mm,
visions, missions, dreams, goals, short-term goals, whatever. Everything is laid out. So
mm,
whilst you guys are moving together, there cannot be any third party. That the third party comes in to teach lessons, you know, or for you to for the secret place to reassess itself for the next level, so it's when people or things come around, it's never to destroy it, but to help it move to its normal stages of growth, or normal stages of maturity. But the place itself protects itself. That's what I believe. Since I my personal secret place, since I created boundaries in my life, I have not done anything to protect anything. When some people are coming around, when I'm in an environment, the secret place speaks for itself. It lets you know this is not it. This person is not it. This atmosphere is not it. It just sees stuff. It tells you who, what, where to go and stuff like that. So it's very, very crucial to do this as people, as Christians. It saves us a lot of headaches. It saves us, and because we are not, and I'm so happy you brought this topic, because we are
Mm,
in a society where we have been, we have been groomed to think that when someone is not talking to me, they don't like me. When
mm,
someone is not in my space, I don't get along with them. No, I could love you more than someone that's close to me, but you may not hear from me. And we have to step outside of that, and that is where creating boundary becomes a problem, because there are people that I would love to hear from them every single time, but because of the secret place, the boundaries that I have created is yielding me to a certain atmosphere that I still love the person, but I should not compromise that space just for the
mm.
sake of, you know, causing some more harm or more chaos that will affect me later in the future. So it's all about what you want and where you are going, I believe, and who
Wow.
you are.
Wow, wow. Yeah, and we just had a section on our identity. And so I think this actually brings up one of the points that we had talked about during that time. And that is this secret place that we're talking about. Really, our dear listeners, I want you to understand that it helps define who you are and who you ought to be. Because when you have a place, or when you have a person, or that you can go to, or a situation that you can go to, it helps you be able to know who to even hang out with, because you realize that not everybody will be able to go to such a place, or not everybody will be able to hang out with such a person that you have created your secret place with. So I think in a way it also helps define who you are, and like you said, it helps kind of weave out some of the things that you ought to keep out of your life in order for you to reach where you need to be. Well, Sister Candace, certainly we are out of time today. But before we go, what can you say about obtaining victory in our secret place? First, to the person who doesn't have a relationship with God, so who is a non-Christian, and then we will talk about the secret place for the Christian as well after.
Okay, so for the non-Christian, you can obtain a secret place again by finding a way to identify yourself through your problems and your defeats and your failures. And through that, you use that to identify yourself, and you outline. And this is something that we just want to live life, but life is meant to be organized. Life is meant to outline. And God did not just, you know, click his finger and everything. It was a step by step. When you read the Bible in Genesis, everything was step by step, and it sets a pace for how he wanted the world to be and how we should live our life. So going back to the basics and pulling out a pen and paper, it's okay. There is nothing wrong with it. Outline some things. I defeated here. I was a failure here. Accept I made a mistake here. Okay, so who am I out of these troubles? Who am I
Mm.
out of these challenges? The problem is here. I am here. This is who I know myself to be. And this is what the problem is saying. There has to be a place in between where you create that list out of. And then from there, you create your boundary. And
Mm.
from there, victory will follow after that. So even when things happen, because of that in between that you have centered yourself to, when things come, that thing falls in between. It does not, it does not merge itself with you for you to miss your identity,
Mm.
misdefine yourself. And it does not merge itself solely to the problem for you to dismiss yourself to what has happened. It comes back to where you have centered yourself. So to the person that does not know God or is not a Christian, this is what the step that you can take, and failures happen. Tomorrow you might fail, but it's part of life. Let's have a little humor about it. Tomorrow something might happen. You might fail. You might make a mistake. Start from there. That's an opportunity for you to start your secret place and be victorious in life.
Well, if you cannot have some humor about your failures, then I think there's another problem that maybe we'll talk about on a different episode. Now, how important is this secret place for the believer or the person who follows God?
Yes. So it's very, very crucial, and this really hits home for me because I am a believer and I'm a Christian, and I found my salvation and the essence of the God that we serve through that secret place. It's so many doctrines, it's so many preachers, it's so many prophets, teachers, it's so many words being spoken by men. But when you have a secret place, all these voices merge into one. And that's where we get distortions. And because you don't have a secret place, it's not that the pastor cannot preach or the prophet is lying. We are undermining the people of God and the church as a whole itself. And we're forgetting that it's undermining God himself. But the problem is we don't have a secret place, because when you have a secret place, when the man that is standing before you or the place that you find yourself in, even when that place is not right, that secret place finds a way to make it right because it's under his name. He said, for my name's sake to Moses. And when you have a secret place, this is what that secret place does. Every single day, every single minute, it defends its name before men, before places, before environment, before situations. So it's very crucial for a believer to have a secret place. It stands to defend itself. The defense could be take you out of that place or make you lose joy in that place or peace in that place or keep you in there for a purpose. So no matter what, it will defend itself, and you will not, have this words and this, undermining in the kingdom of God that we have today, where, everybody's rising against Christianity and rising against men and women of God and prophets and prophetess, but we are forgetting that all that is undermining God himself. So
Wow.
it's very important.
Wow. I believe a few years ago, I discussed with my youth group about the need to have a place of recharge that is outside the church, and I think that's what you are kind of alluding to. Because I personally believe that as Christians, our church or the church's prayer life, for instance, or our Bible study life, can be only as effective as our individual prayer and Bible study lives at home. If we just leave it all up to the church, then it becomes a lost cause. And then for the person who does not have a relationship with God, you need a place to recharge. You need a place to dissociate yourself from everything, all the chaos, all the distractions around you, and be able to focus on what you ought to do in life in order to make an impact. Because I believe that life is all about making an impact. Yes, I want everyone to make a positive impact in life, but that's really not the reality of the situation. So join us same time, our dear listeners. Thank you so much for being with us today. Join us same time next week as we bring to you life-changing discussions on Hour of Healing. God bless you for listening. And again, bye-bye.